Hi everyone, I'm Miu from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a orange cat bag from Cute Cat Crossbody bag. This bag is divided into the main part, feet, strap, head and decorations. The main part consists of the body, lining and magnetic clasps. Let's start with the body. We will start from foundation chain, crocheting in rounds counterclockwise along the starting chain. Let's take a look at the chart. In the chart, our plus number indicates the round number. The increases and decreases explanation column shows the stitch techniques needed for crocheting the current round, including increases and decreases. The total stitches column shows all the stitches for the current round, shows the total number of stitches after completing all crocheting. The stitches used include chain, CH, TV half double crochet increase, T half double crochet, TW half double crochet 3-in-1, Ta half double crochet decrease and slip stitch. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. The yarn used here is special, with longer fibers, making it hard to see the stitch patterns. You can learn the crocheting method first, then use the original yarn for crocheting, or practice with easier to see yarn. Here I'm demonstrating with the original yarn. Random colors. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. First, let's start with a chain stitch. Hang the yarn with your left hand. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Pay attention to the hook size. Make a knot with the crochet hook. The starting knot doesn't count as one stitch. Adjust the size properly. Then crochet 27 chain stitches. Crochet 1 stitch first. After completing it, you can feel it. There will be a small dent underneath. The position of the small dent is the chain stitch. Continue crocheting 26 chain stitches downward. After completing, continuously feel the chain stitches. There's a small bump between these two chain stitches. The dent position is the chain stitch position. Check the stitch count here. Just feel the dent positions. The number of dents indicates how many chain stitches you've crocheted. The number of dents indicates how many chain stitches you've crocheted. We're at the last chain stitch position, which is the first dent below the loop on your hook. Pick up the two right side strands, and place a marker to mark them. You can feel it. Only one strand remains on the left side. If you do not know where the very first stitch is, simply place it in the chain space. This completes the casting on. Move on to the first round. The chart is Deck 3, TV, 23T, 5T, 23T, TW. This means starting from the third to last stitch. Crochet the corresponding stitch techniques in sequence. First, find the position of the third to last stitch. Start from the marked chain stitch. Feel down for the small dent. Continue feeling until you reach the third dent. This is the position of the third to last stitch. Insert the hook into the small dent. Crochet 1 half double crochet increase, which means working 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. Before crocheting, let's mark it first. Pick up the entire loop below the hook and place a stitch marker. Don't secure this yarn strand being crocheted. Pay attention, the loop on the hook shouldn't be too large. While crocheting, you can feel as you go. Yarn over. Insert into the third chain stitch. Pick up approximately 1 strand above. Pull the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Then yarn over and draw through all 3 loops in once. Complete 1 half double crochet. You can feel it at this point. The stitch marker position is the stitch of the half double crochet. There will also be a small dent. The firm part is the post of the half double crochet. This is the first stitch of this round. Place a marker to mark the insertion position below. You can also feel it. Convenient for finding the insertion position at the ending. The position marked by the front stitch marker. These 2 chain stitches do not count as 1 stitch, and are not included in the total stitch count. Continue downward in the same insertion position. Work 1 more half double crochet. You can feel the post of the previous stitch here. To find its insertion point, note that due to the higher number of stitches, stitch markers may not be enough to mark every single stitch. You can mark every 5 or 10 stitches, making it easier to find the insertion points for the next row. Mark every 5 stitches on the swatch. The half double crochet increase is completed. Continue to pick up the adjacent chain stitch, and work 1 half double crochet. Feel the post of the previous stitch. Then find its insertion point. Move left to find the adjacent dent. Work 1 half double crochet correspondingly. Repeat this process. Work 2 more half double crochets. Pay attention to the placement of stitches when inserting the hook. The 5th stitch is completed. Continue to pick up the adjacent chain stitch, and work a half double crochet correspondingly. Pay attention to marking before working. Similarly, place a stitch marker through the entire loop below the hook. After completion, the stitch marker position is the stitch position. This is also the 6th stitch. There should be 4 stitches between the 2 stitch markers. Feel it. Each stitch forms a braid-like texture with 2 strands of yarn. A dent forms below the braid. Check regularly. Continue downward using the same method. Crochet the remaining half double crochets. Remember to mark every 5 stitches. Don't twist the foundation chain below. After completion, there's 1 chain space left below. Place a stitch marker at the insertion point of the last half double crochet. Mark by placing a stitch marker. In the last chain, work 5 half double crochets. Mindful that this stitch needs to be marked perfectly. Now you've reached the other side of the starting chain. At the previously marked insertion point, work a half double crochet. Pay attention to mark the stitch position. Weave in the yarn tails as you go along. You can remove the stitch marker. Next, pick up the insertion points of the previous half double crochets below. The other 2 strands of the yarn tail correspondingly make half double crochets. You can do it the same way as before. Feel the post of the previous stitch. Find its insertion point. Then insert the hook into the hole on the left side to crochet. After completing 23 half double crochets, the left side should be exactly at the stitch marker position. At this marked insertion point, work a half double crochet 3 in 1, which means making 3 half double crochets into the same stitch. The half double crochet 3 in 1 is done. Now we can check the stitch count. Except for the starting chain position. Each stitch marker position counts as 1 stitch. There should be 4 stitches between stitch markers. Count up to the stitch before the last marker. It should be 55 stitches. Adding the last marker makes it 56 stitches. This matches the stitch count on the chart. Next, at the stitch marker position on the beginning chain, work 1 slip stitch. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. When crocheting in rounds, the end always joins with the starting position with a slip stitch. The joining slip stitch doesn't count as 1 stitch. Tighten it to prevent extra stitches later. This completes round 1. We'll consider the side facing us as the right side of the piece. Place a stitch marker at the beginning chain to mark the position. Continue to crochet round 2. R2 is 2CH, 27T, TW, X2. Here 2CH is the turning chain. The stitches in parentheses form a group. X number indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. First make a 2-chain turning chain. Pick up 2 strands on the top chain to mark. Move the stitch marker from the beginning chain up. For the body section, always make a 2-chain turning chain. And it doesn't count as 1 stitch. No further reminders will be given later. This turning chain corresponds to the beginning chain of round 1. Start from the first stitch on the left side. Pick up stitches correspondingly to make 27 half double crochets. Pay attention to marking before making the first stitch. Insert the hook into the stitch position, marked by the stitch marker to crochet. Complete the first stitch. Remove the stitch marker below. Continue crocheting. For positions without stitch markers, feel the stitches. First, feel the previous crochet posts. Find the insertion point. Move left to the next stitch position. Pick up both strands of the stitch to crochet. You can continue marking every 5 stitches. Once you're comfortable with crocheting, you can mark only the turning chains, the first and last stitches. Just mark according to your own preference. After completing, work 1/2 double crochet 3 in 1. This completes the first group, 27T, TW. Continue crocheting the remaining group. After completing, remember to check the stitch count. The last section here is exactly 5 stitches. If you want to mark the last stitch, when checking the stitch count, be careful not to miscount. The total stitches per round are indicated in the chart. We won't repeat this reminder later. Finally, join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker position on the turning chain. Pull tight. The second round is complete. Move on to round 3. Chain 2 as beginning chain. Then work even by picking up stitches for half double crochets, that is, one stitch to another. For the sample swatch, we won't mark the middle section here. Choose according to your own situation. Finish with a slip stitch on the turning chain. The third round is complete. Work even. The fabric naturally curls. Turn the right side out. Rounds 4 through 12. Follow the same crochet method as round 3. Measure the width and height of the bag body while crocheting. Compare with the dimensions given in the chart. If the width differs significantly, adjust your tension and recrochet. Adjust the height as you go along. Adjust your tension to ensure the final height matches the expected measurement. Complete it. Pay attention if you need to join yarn when the yarn tail is too short. Use an incomplete half double crochet to join the yarn. I'll demonstrate the method using a swatch. In practice, leave a longer yarn tail. Yarn over the hook. Insert into the corresponding stitch. Yarn over and pull through. This is an incomplete half double crochet. Now pick up the new yarn. Leave a longer yarn tail. Yarn over once, and pull through the loops on the hook. Adjust slightly. Complete the half double crochet, and the yarn joining is done. Tie a knot with these two yarn tails to secure them slightly. While crocheting later, weave the ends in as you go. This is the method for joining yarn. Next, I'll teach you how to count rounds. First, find the starting point, that is, the position marked as right side, and wrong side at the beginning. The obvious chain space at the very bottom. Feel along from this chain space to one side. There will be a chain space between every two stitch posts. Each round will have such chain spaces. This swatch has 5 rounds crocheted here. You can feel 5 rounds of these chain spaces. Everyone determined the number of rounds using this method. Now crochet round 13. First make 2 chains as beginning chain. Then starting from the first stitch, correspondingly make 3 half double crochets. 1 half double crochet, 3 stitches together. First make 3 incomplete half double crochets. Yarn over. Insert into the adjacent stitch. Draw the yarn through. First stitch completed. Continue with 2 more stitches. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Half double crochet 3 stitches together done. The braid on the upper right is its stitch. Continue with the corresponding number of half double crochets. After completing, make 1 half double crochet, 3 stitches together. First make 3 incomplete half double crochets. One, 2, 3. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Half double crochet 3 stitches together done. Continue correspondingly making half double crochets afterward. Check the number of stitches after completion. Pay attention to the position of the half double crochet, 3 stitches together. 3 stitch posts merged into 1 stitch. Don't count wrong. Finally join with a slip stitch on the beginning chain. Round 13 completed. Finally work round 14. First chain 2 as beginning chain. Make 1 half double crochet. One half double crochet decrease. First correspondingly make 2 incomplete half double crochets. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Half double crochet decrease completed. Continue with 1 half double crochet. 1 half double crochet decrease. First make 2 incomplete half double crochets. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Half double crochet decrease completed. Continue crocheting following the chart afterward. Join with a slip stitch to finish. Round 14 completed. Once the size fits properly, cut the yarn. Secure with a chain stitch. Stretch the loop. Leave a 5 cm yarn tail and cut off. Pull tight. Stitch markers can be removed. Weave in on the wrong side following the texture. You can weave in a few more stitches. That's it for the bag body. Next, sew the lining. Take out the lining fabric. Fold it in half along the long side. Place the bag body on top. Match the starting point with the folding point. Then draw marked lines along the edge. Note, use a pencil to prevent staining the bag body. To avoid staining the bag body, trim slightly after completing. Then cut about 3 mm outside the marked lines. The lining is now cut out. Take out the sewing thread. Insert the thread into a thin needle. Fold the yarn end in half and tie a knot. First, sew one side edge. Sew about 2 mm inside the marked lines here. Keep the insertion points close together. Make sure the edges are aligned. Tie a knot and cut the thread when done. Sew the other side using the same method. Complete this part with the side showing sewing marks. Finally, place the lining side with sewing marks against the bag bodice inner side. Align the openings. Fold the lining outward slightly. Match it with the bottom of the last round of stitches on the bag opening. Make sure the bottom is aligned and tidy it up. Continue taking thread. Sew along the lining's opening edge. First secure both ends and the middle of both sides with thread. To prevent sewing crooked, pay attention to match the lining sewing area with the bag bodice corners. Once secured well, now start the actual sewing. Sew along the folded edge of the lining. Attach it to the bag body. When inserting the needle into the bag body, be mindful not to skip. Insert the hook below the V-shaped loops of the stitches. Make sure to pick up the yarn. Adjust the position while sewing. Don't sew crooked. Keep visible stitches off the front side. Repeat this process for one full round. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. The securing threads can be removed. This concludes the lining sewing method. Finally, attach the magnetic clasps. At the middle position of the lining edge, secure a pair of magnetic clasps. Here I'll demonstrate using the female part as an example. Take yarn as before. Position it centered. Secure all 4 corners. While sewing, make sure to secure it to the bag body. This makes it more secure. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. Sew the male part on the symmetrical opposite side. Pay attention that the position must be centered. Complete it. That concludes the explanation of sewing the magnetic clasps. The main part is also completed.